So right now we're actually going to be doing a quick tutorial on how to take this 5/8 inch Megalith handle and put it on a VTS. So the two companies is made by Rorman Strength, and then the VTS is made by Bulletproof Fitness. If you already have the Megalith handles, you already know they basically got made famous for like lever arms, and your standard configuration is going to be like this, right? Like lever arm goes here, and then, you know, nice unique swivel action. I guess if it were on my rack, it would be something more like this, right? And I would be, pushing, pulling, and it swivels. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take the same amazing rotating action and we're going to put it on the VTS. So you basically have a Smith machine with rotating handles. So first thing, if you already have the Megalith handles, you're going to need to take that off, bolt, and this. Okay? This part you actually won't really need for this particular setup, but I would still hold on to this. So this is there. The next part you have is your, they call it like a bearing sandwich. So we're just going to kind of take them off piece by piece. So you've got the washer, you've got this little guy that you'll need Allen wrench for, and then the bearing sandwich, which is just these three pieces. So I'm just going to kind of stack this up reversed. And then you got the bolt, and you can see that here. It's another bearing sandwich and the washer. So take that all off. I'm just going to kind of put them in separate piles, but still keeping it in that same order just so I don't have to think about it later. So if you can see, we've got these pieces. Now this bolt, for the VTS purpose, you don't need it anymore. So what I do for mine is I literally just stick that original, the black washer and the bolt, just to keep it all together, because you will need this still if you're going to throw them back on your lever arms. The reason why we don't need it now is I'll show you. So in order to get this handle, which is now without the bolt, onto the VTS, you need something long, and that bolt's just not long enough, unfortunately. So this is where these come into play. Now I was messing with this earlier, so that's why this is still on there. But these, I had to buy an extra pack of these. If you can see, they're just these little pieces. You can get them off Amazon. They're like $2 a piece. So they're basically the exact same ones that you would get. This is the one that came with the Megalith. This is the one I got off Amazon. They're basically the same. They just need to fit 5/8 inch. And I'll put a link in the video for the ones I used. I might video edit one up here as well. But basically, all you do, this band peg. So this one is just an old Titan T3 band peg from like 2017. And this is what I'm using to actually hold my handles. So easiest way to do it. So you could, just put your stuff together like this, but what'll happen is it's going to create a little bit of slop. And here, I'll show you real quick. So if you look, we've done one of these already, and this is, I kind of left it on here. So if you can see, there's a little bit of play, and that's because this right here cannot go, it's not flat. There's like a weld, there's like an old school Titan weld, which if you know anything about old school Titan, these are not the most friendly welds. But the rest of this, you can kind of see the idea is, here's the end of that band peg, and it needs to be something really long to be able to get this handle working. Okay, so now that I've shown you kind of like what the end will sort of look like, this is more what we need to do. So we need to take this right here, And what this is going to do is it's going to create a flat surface so we can snug the handles tight. And if you're wondering, this one right here, this Allen wrench is 1/4 inch Allen wrench. This one, so 1/4 inch. So now we're just basically going to go back in reverse now. So remember, we had the washer with the bearing sandwich. So pop that back on there. Now against a flat surface. Then you pop the handle. Bam. Just like that. Now we've got the next bearing sandwich right here. Throw it back. Then you got your washer. And then you got the last of these. And then you just tighten it down again. So now you see this, absolutely no slop whatsoever. So real nice. Very nice. So now the next part is this handle. So we got the length, but now we need the girth. So real simple. Now for me, I had a couple of these spacers lying around. Some kind of like a DIY. So if you can see, what I will recommend is these ones. They're like F&F and Kaizen did like this collaboration, and they did these ones. Now these ones usually you'll get, I believe it's like 30 or 40 bucks for two. So you would need 2 sets of these because you need 2 for each arm. Now for me, I had a set of these lying around already. So I'm just using what I got because there's no need for me to buy a second pair of these if I've already got these extra spare ones. And I'll show you why. So we're going to pop it on. So I don't know if you can see that as well, but it just slides right on. And then the other one slides right on. Now this one, the nice thing about this one here is it's got these little indents. So you can actually tighten it on. So this black one has no indents, but it doesn't matter to me because I'm just going to tighten it anyways. And I already know which ones I need because I already used them for the other one. So these ones are 3/16, I believe. This is just like a little multi-tool that I had from Home Depot. So I wouldn't need to have 6,000 Allen wrenches everywhere. But basically you just go and tighten this down. To cinch it. So essentially now this 5/8 band peg is now 1 inch. And that's because the latches on the VTS are meant to latch on things that are bigger. They're talking about for the VTS, you want to have at least 1 inch, but you can go as big as you want because you can put specialty bars and stuff in there as well. Okay, now this is the good part. So this is where now you get the Megalith handle and have it ready to go in your VTS. So first thing, just so you can kind of see what it'll look like. So this is like the normal VTS. It's got a bunch of rollers on the inside. It also clamps with these things. Okay. So right now this is kind of like what we're looking at. So what we do is we just put our Megalith handle and our band peg. So what I do, I kind of line it up based off this black washer, and I throw it kind of up to this edge right here. So I just kind of pop that here so I know that it's in a good spot, and then these clamp down. Now if you just let go right here, what's going to happen, the weight of the handle is going to make this go crazy. So what you got to do is you line the black part, and then you just latch down. Now, if you see it kind of rose up there a little bit, reason being is because even though we just made this from 5/8 inch to an inch in diameter, it's still smaller than any of the other bars or handles that I'd used before in this VTS. So, put these latches on just so the handles don't fly up, but then you just gotta tighten it, which I'm gonna speed up this part. There we go. There we go. Nice. See, it's nice and locked. And then the last piece, you have this little guy. It just goes in here. It's just for an extra level of security. So you just kind of pop this through, and boom. There you go. Now I'll show you real quick. As you can see, this handle now, slides up and down real nice. Okay, so as I was editing the video, I realized I never explained the importance of the shaft collar and the washer, why I switched the difference. So the biggest reason why you're not getting the best fit is because the diameter of the shaft collar is just a little bigger than the diameter of the 1-inch spacer. So then when the VTS latch has to go clamp down, what's going to happen is it's hitting the shaft collar first and then not really getting a full grip on the spacer. So when that happens, you're going to get some play and a little bit of slop. It still works, right? You know, all of these methods work. I think I tried like 3 or 4 different ways of securing the 5/8 inch Megalith handle into the VTS. So there's definitely a million ways that work. I just went through a lot of the trial and error, so you don't have to. And this is the best setup. Okay, so this is what the final setup will look like. I just redid my other handle. So before I stick it in, we've got the clamp, a washer, then the bearing sandwich, Megalith handle, and then another bearing sandwich, and then another clamp, then another washer, and then this is the new parts, right? So we've got a 1-inch spacer and a 1-inch spacer. So you need 2 of them, and I'll kind of show you a little bit of how this works. And then the rest is all pretty simple. You go boom, boom, boom. Actually, here, make sure this black part is lined up. And then clamp, clamp. And then you have this little extra pin, which again is going to go right here. And now you have free rotation of your handle. If you notice the order of these, you've got the band peg, clamp, washer, bearings, handle, bearings, and then you notice I didn't go bearings, washer, clamp. I went bearings, clamp, washer. And this is really just to get a better snug fit. And I'll show you. See how there's no wiggle? Like, I can't really pull this at all. Whereas if you look to the other way, we did the same clamp, washer, bearing, sandwich. But instead on the other side, instead of going bearing, sandwich, clamp, washer, we went bearing, sandwich, washer, clamp. So what that did is it kind of made it so if you look, there's like a little bit of a gap and it won't go exactly because we've got a clamp right here. And what ends up happening, yeah, I'll turn this around. So what ends up happening when you have this little bit of play here is you see how this can shake. You can visibly see it. And these clamps are clamped pretty much the same. But this does make a difference. So I'm actually going to be taking this one out and putting the clamp on the other side of the washer so I can really dial this in. And then it can be the same as this side where it's clamp and then washer. So one other cool thing, like outside of just the fact that these handles are awesome with the swivel, one of the main reasons why this one's really good with the VTS specifically is because the swivel, so you get the handle, you can get the handle at a point higher than the carriage. The carriage is here, the handle's here. So what that means is when you've got this here, normally as you do things like a shoulder press, you're going to press up and then you're going to hit this with the back because this is higher. But you can get your arms at a better position thanks to this rotating handle. So you can basically push higher to the ceiling with these Megalith handles. Also, don't hate me if yours come in and they're black and not like this. These are the limited edition silver Rorman Strength handles that went on a limited sale, and I don't think you can actually buy them anymore.